All 4 classes in Deep Rock Galactic are powerful in their own way, and that is one of the things I really love about the game. But let's be real, some of the builds are just way more fun than the others. So if you're struggling to make a new class click, or just want to shake things up with something new, let me show you my favorite build for each dwarf, all of which are linked in the description. Are these the strongest builds ever? Probably not, but they'll carry you through everything Hoxies can throw at you, and they'll do it with style. Greetings and welcome friends, I'm Ash, and this gunner build poses a very simple question. Do you like explosions? I certainly hope so, because with the mortar rounds overclocked for the heavy autocannon, you'll be firing off so many shells you won't be able to see anything for the smoke and flying giblets. I never really liked the gunner back in the day, but while working on my DRG retrospective, I stumbled onto this build and instantly changed my mind. So hopefully I can convince you to give it a shot as well. The loadout is very simple. A heavy autocannon tuned for area damage and ammo efficiency, a bulldog revolver for when you need precision, and the lead burster grenade, which is perfect for clearing objectives, saving teammates, or just making the scouts scream in terror. As you might expect, the playstyle revolves around holding down key positions and raining death from above. Stick to high grounds or zip lines and punish anything that gets too close. If you get overwhelmed, throw down a shield, toss a lead burster while retreating, or just start blasting the floor. The self-damage will hurt, but trust me, it'll hurt the bugs a whole lot more. Standard bugs usually die in 2 hits, while the armored ones take 3. That might sound like an invitation to just hold down the trigger and go wild. But funnily enough, this is actually a precision build, not a spray and pray one. Ammo is your main limitation, so aim carefully and make each shot count. Your weakness are bosses and heavily armored enemies. Mortar rounds can soften up big targets, but they are not ammo efficient enough to carry a boss fight. So let your team focus on the high health threats while you control the swarm. It's not exactly flashy, but giving your team breathing room makes everything go so much smoother. When dealing with flying enemies, turrets, or anything that needs a bit of finesse, swap to the bulldog revolver. I haven't had much luck with overclocks for it, but anything that boosts its ammo economy is a solid pick. Once again, take your time, avoid spamming, and make sure every shot connects. The bulldog hits hard, and if used well can clear a whole lot of enemies before running out of juice. One last tip, never reload manually. It is slow, it is awkward, and it is dangerous. Instead, grab the Born Ready perk and let it reload for you. Just switch weapons for 5 seconds and boom, you'll be fully topped off and ready to keep blasting. And that's the build. It's a very simple concept, but one that packs a whole lot of boom. It is easy to pick up, it is very satisfying to play, and it has enough nuance to keep you wanting to come back. I highly recommend it. The scout build is the polar opposite of the gunner. Instead of holding down an area, you'll be zipping around the caverns looking for minerals to mine, problematic enemies to snipe, and generally helping wherever you're needed. It is fast-paced, skill-intensive, great for carrying weaker teams, and most importantly, it is just plain fun. Your bread and butter is the M1000 with a hipster overclock. As long as you charge your shot, this rifle can one-shot every unarmored bug from a massive range, and sometimes even cleave through multiple. Even better, thanks to the hitting where it hurts upgrade, it can stun larger enemies for long stretches of time. So whether you're picking off grunts or shooting bosses in their bug butt, the M1000 will serve you well. Just whatever you do, don't get caught in close quarters. You might ask why, and that is because the scout is squishy. He relies on mobility to survive, so always stay moving and always keep your distance from enemies. Ideally, you'll want to support your allies from a long range with the M1000, or zip into a hotspot, clear the field with your trusty sidearm shotgun, and then zip right back out. And in true scout fashion, the boomstick is more than just a shotgun. With the special powder overclock, you can use it to rocket jump across caverns, dodge enemy attacks, or even to save yourself from fall damage by firing it just before impact. It takes practice, but it is one of the most fun and versatile movement tools in the game. Once you get the hang of it, trust me, you will never want to go back. If the worst happens and your whole team does go down, your first and only task is to survive. Then, once you're safe, start clearing the area with your guns or the always handy cryo grenades, and only then should you attempt a rescue. Don't just rush in and die with them. Take your time, make sure the coast is clear, and give your team a real shot at getting back into the game. When you're not in combat or on cleanup duty, you'll want to be ahead of the team, scouting new ground, lighting up the map, mining hard-to-reach minerals, and clearing out spawners, snipers, or other annoying enemies. Just make sure to watch out for the ceiling. Cave leeches will absolutely ruin your day, so do make sure to ruin theirs first. And that's the build. It's lightning fast, highly efficient, and packed with all sorts of neat tricks to master over time. If you like playing the hero, or just enjoy soaring through the air like some kind of a lunatic, this one is for you. The engineer build is a blast to play, and I do not mean that figuratively. Between the nuke launcher and electrified turrets, you'll be carving through hordes while lighting up the caves with some of the prettiest fireworks this side of Hoxie's. So if you're after a high-impact build that is as stylish as it is deadly, this one is definitely worth a spin. The star of the show is the Fatboy overclock for the grenade launcher. Even a single shot deals massive impact damage and leaves behind a radiation field that lingers for a staggering 15 seconds, softening up the battlefield and deleting anything too slow to escape. Naturally, the trade-off is a very, very pitiful ammo count. So limited in fact that many players write the Fatboy off as a joke, but they are missing the point. You don't need a huge ammo pool when every single shot can wipe out an entire wave. And that radiation field, it is not just pretty. It lets you control space, lock down choke points, and save your team a huge amount of effort and ammo. So don't be stingy. If you see a clump of bugs, just nuke them before they get a chance to do anything. And when you're not atomizing bugs, you'll be using the Voltaic SMG, a surprisingly nasty little weapon tuned for electrocution. Each shot has a chance to inflict the electrocute debuff, which roots enemies, deals solid damage, and even boosts your own damage against them. So while it might look piddly, the SMG hits a lot harder than you might expect. But the real reason we're using the Voltaic SMG is for the turret EM discharge. Every few seconds you can shoot your sentries to unleash a blast of electricity, stunning and zapping everything nearby. The stun is good, the damage is even better, but it is the sheer satisfaction of watching your turrets go that makes it so much fun to use. Naturally, you'll want to run 2 turrets in this build and place them wisely. Spread them out to cover key pathways, or keep them close to your squad as an emergency panic button. Either way, try to stay aware of where they are so you can time your EM discharges for maximum effect. This does take a bit of finesse when everything descends into chaos, but just stick with it. Once it clicks, it really clicks. For grenades, I like the SSG. It is a simple fire and forget option. Just chuck it towards a swarm and let the drones handle their own business. It gives you one less thing to micromanage so you can focus on what is truly important. Accidentally nuking your entire team. Whoops. And that's the build. Between the area denial, fun turret synergy, and obscenely powerful boomstick, this is a playstyle that is as rewarding as it is explosive. So if you're in the mood for a build that is a little trickier than your typical engineer loadout, yet a lot more satisfying, definitely give this one a shot. It is so much fun. The last, and definitely not least, is a build from my beloved Driller. This one asks a very simple question. Do you hate it when enemies get to move around and actually do stuff? If so, rejoice, because this build throws out so many debuffs that you can shut down even the nastiest bugs without spending much ammo. It all starts with a corrosive sludge pump and the disperser compound overclock. Charged shots let you coat massive areas in goo that both slows and damages enemies. Most of the time, a single splat is all it takes to immobilize an entire wave. Because of this, stick to charged shots for maximum coverage. But if you need to stop an elite or deal with a nearby enemy, a quick, uncharged splurt will still get the job done. And what if you want to be even more cruel? That's where the wave cooker with the gamma contamination upgrade comes into play. It adds even more slow and damage over time effects, and you don't even need to fire it for very long. Just a quick zap to tag each enemy is usually enough. Then you can just sit back, relax, and let the debuffs do all of the work. Even glyphid oppressors, as mighty as they are, will barely move an inch before they melt into a puddle. But we're not done yet. If you need to crank up the pain even more, say for a boss or a particularly tough horde, you've got the neurotoxin grenades at your disposal. You wanna guess what they do? Yep, that's right, they add more slow and more damage over time. Even better, thanks to the contagion transmitter on your wave cooker, all of that delicious, perfectly breathable poison only further enhances your damage. Yeah, this build is kinda horrifying. But is it overpowered? And the answer is, maybe. The main downside is that most of your damage is dealt over time. So when you need to burst something down really quickly, you'll have to burn through a lot of your wave cooker ammo to do it. It is simply not ideal. Instead, I would recommend being the team's anchor. Lock things down, apply your debuffs, and then let them and your allies clean things up. Do not waste your ammo chasing glory. Trust me on this, you'll still end up with plenty of kills by the end of it. And one final tip, do not sleep on your satchel charges. And I mean that both literally and figuratively. They are a very dangerous tool, both to you and your enemies. But they are also wildly effective. And since you get a couple every time you resupply, you might as well use them. Treat them like the engineer's nukes. Throw them freely, accept the occasional whoopsie, and just enjoy the fireworks. And that's the build. If you're in the mood for crowd control and you enjoy watching enemies slowly dissolve into goo while they flail around helplessly, well, you should probably go have a talk with someone, but also give this build a try. It is goo-tastic. And that's it. You can find links to each of the 4 builds in the description below. And if you need any clarification or have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll do my best to help out. Until then, rock and stone. Thank you guys for watching, and whether you loved it or hated it, I would love to hear what you think. If you'd like to see more, make sure to subscribe, like the video, ring the stupid bell, pet your favorite dwarf, and do whatever the nonsense you gotta do these days. Thank you for sticking to the very end, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye!